Hello, and thank you for joining us to hear what's new with Seabourn. I'm Geraldine Giacconi, the Key Account Manager for Seabourn for the Northeast. It's my pleasure to work closely with the team at the CruiseWeb, and on behalf of all of us at Seabourn, we really appreciate their great support and partnership that they give us to suggest our brand to you, their valued clients. And thank you to the CruiseWeb for hosting this event. This presentation is going to be about 30 minutes, and then I'd like to allow some time at the end for Q&A. Let me start out talking a little bit about Seabourn's ultra luxury travel experiences. There's certain pillars that we stand by every day in delivering our brand to you, our guests, and it really is these drivers plus our phenomenal onboard staff and crew that delivers these memorable experiences. So we're really very particular about creating state-of-the-art and spacious accommodations for you to enjoy. Exquisite decor, you'll see some photographs in a little bit. It's more traditional but country club style. Offering culinary choices at the very highest level, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that, but it's always really about that secret sauce, as we like to say, or the finest service delivery by a great team on board who anticipates your needs before you really even realize it. Creating memorable experiences all along and always exceeding your expectations. But at the end of the day, the number one priority is the safety and well-being of our guests, the crew, and the vessel. So we never want to lose sight of that wherever we're sailing in the world. And with all of these things in mind, we are so honored that we have been consistently awarded World's Best Small Luxury Cruise Line year after year by many readers of Travel and Leisure, Condé Nast Traveler, various travel trade groups, and different publications. Seabourn's been in business for quite a long time, over 30 years, and consistently delivered a high level of service and experience to our guests. They truly are ultra luxury resorts at sea. They're very yacht-like in size and based on the number of guests, which I'll be showing you in a little bit. But they truly have a country club feel. It's a more casual resort luxury attire. So the days of all the formal wear are gone, although you are more than welcome to dress to the nines on any given night that you feel the desire to do so, but there's no real schedules on board. It's open dining, dine with whom you want, when you want. There's a lot of open space on board to relax and feel uncrowded. And our crew to guest ratio is nearly 1-to-1 to be able to deliver that really high level of service. So I want to talk a little bit about the inclusiveness. Seabourn is all-inclusive on board. And as I said, they're intimate ships with very intuitive personalized service, really curated voyages to all over the world. We hit the 7 continents, and I'll be showing you that in a little bit. All ocean front suites, luxuriously appointed, and premium spirits and fine wines and champagnes freely poured throughout the vessel, not just during dinner time. If you're in your suite and you'd like a bottle of champagne, they'll be more than happy to bring it to you. Complimentary Wi-Fi. So if you want to check your emails or just send some emails out to friends, that's unlimited. There is an extra charge for streaming Wi-Fi if you wanted to watch a movie on your phone. But if you're in suites, the top suites, penthouse and above, there is no charge for the streaming Wi-Fi as well. Tipping is never required, nor is it expected. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our culinary in just a few slides, so we'll come back to that. Guests have asked, well, do you have any guest lectures on board? And we do run what's called Seabourn Conversations, where we have a lot of experts on board giving lectures. And our Ventures by Seabourn are the optional shore excursions. So that is one key element that's not included, and that's by design because our guests like to choose the shore and port experiences that they're going to experience. So there's a wide selection of things available to you, including private car and drivers. And I'll talk a little bit more about our spa facilities on board. So you can just get an idea of the inclusiveness. This is our fleet. And before I talk about the fleet, I want to tell you a little bit more about this picture. While our ships are smaller and they don't feature soaring atrium lobbies, they do have very uniquely and artfully designed entries and this main staircase that you see. And of course, the ships also have elevators, but the stairway here is what the guests are going to see when they board, and it's really a spectacular view. So going through the fleet, the Seabourn Odyssey, Sojourn, and Quest are all sisters. You can see what year they came out, and they have 458 guests on board. And then our slightly larger ships, the Encore and Ovation, came out in 2016 and 18 respectively with 600 guests. And then we're so excited this summer, right around the corner, we introduced the first of our 2 purpose-built expedition ships, the Seabourn Venture, and then later in 23, the Seabourn Pursuit, and each of those will have 264 guests. So really excited, and I'll be talking a little bit more about the Venture in a future slide. Again, all suites on board. So you'll see that the majority of the ships all have private verandas as well. And Seabourn's known for our luxurious bathrooms. They all feature double marble sink no matter what accommodation type you're in. And to give you a better idea, this is the standard or the entry level veranda suite. It's about 300 square feet. Very nicely appointed, and there's that bathroom, which the guests just absolutely love. Lots of space, lots of storage, and no cramping to move around. Now, our premium suites offer a lot more space and more amenities. So you'll see between the owner suite, signature suites, and the winter garden suites, those guests will receive some upgraded amenities, enhanced or more bar setup within your suite for entertainment of other guests that you might meet on board or family and friends you're traveling with. Customized fruit every day and flowers, a more luxurious robe, an espresso machine, Swarovski binoculars, daily newspapers on a press reader application, and complimentary private airport transportation up to 50 miles between the airport of arrival and your ship's departure point. So those are some of the amenities of the more upgraded suites. Talk a little bit about an ad campaign you might be seeing. It's called This Is Your Moment. We started this campaign in January of 2022, and it's really capturing, or it's meant to capture, the joy, the freedom, the sense of adventure that our vibrant and more sophisticated travelers seek at this particular time in their life. You know, we've gone through a really difficult and challenging 2.5 years. There's a lot of pent up desire to start traveling again and experience the beautiful places and just enjoy life. So this campaign really touches on it, that this is your moment to really get away and enjoy. So I'm going to hit this video. You may or may not hear the sound. It's beautiful music, but I wanted you to see the visual pictures so it can capture the meaning behind this new campaign. So I hope you'll come and join us. It gives you a little bit of what to expect on a Seabourn adventure. Experience the difference. We're getting a lot of new to Seabourn guests. Guests that maybe haven't thought about doing a more luxury all-inclusive vacation, but they want to celebrate in style with a special anniversary or a honeymoon or a second honeymoon, that milestone birthday in your life. Maybe you retired, maybe you did a career change and you're celebrating. Multi-generational travel. We don't really promote to families with small children. Most of the families that come on board are age pretty much 10 and above, but they're very well traveled, and we certainly welcome the children. So it's a great way to bring the generations and have a very special moment on board. You can rediscover a special destination. Maybe you honeymoon in Italy 25 years ago and you want to go back and relive that. We do special culinary and special interest trips, so you might see something that grabs your interest. We're experiencing guests who did suites on other cruise lines coming over and trying us. And really, if you've been to private resorts and maybe have never tried a cruise, this could just be the right brand experience for you. Smaller, less guests, less hurried on board. So you're going to see throughout the next slides, it all captures that moment that be special for you. So whether it's dining experiences, and certainly dining is a huge part of a cruise vacation. We have a lot of multiple dining choices on our ships, more than ever before, up to 7, 8, almost 9 if you count in-suite dining. And we have a culinary partnership with Chef Thomas Keller. Some of you may have eaten at some of his restaurants. He has French Laundry in Napa, per se in New York. And if you've been to the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, he has Bouchon, which is the French bistro, along with his wonderful bakery that's in the lobby off of one of the towers. The other thing that's another great choice is Earth and Ocean. And it's on our patio. It's served in the evening al fresco, so of course, weather permitting, but a very eclectic, almost tasting menu that you see here. And the next slide gives you an idea what that outdoor dining experience looks like. The upper right is the Thomas Keller grill on board. And the bottom right is my reminder to tell you that champagne and caviar is available whenever you like it. So if you're sitting on your veranda and you're watching the sunset, you know, getting ready to go to dinner a little bit later, you can order up a bottle of champagne and all the wonderful caviar accoutrements and enjoy that appetizer on your own private veranda. We do have sushi bars on board, so that's available except on the Venture, which I'll be talking about in a little bit. And then our spa partnership is with Dr. Andrew Weil. So if you're into health and fitness, mindfulness, yoga, holistic medicine, there's lots of options on board a Seabourn cruise for you. Most of all, our team loves to create Seabourn moments. So what are these? They could be a special surprise by your housekeeping team when you come back to the ship, greeting you with some chocolate strawberries or little canapes, or doing something to surprise and delight. Our space ratio on board is really talking about the number of guests sharing wide open spaces, so it gives you a lot more elbow room on board. And I talked a little bit earlier about our staff to guest ratio nearly being 1-to-1. So fewer guests does mean more luxury. The ships are really designed for social interaction, but yet you'll find those quiet, private places where you can get away as well. But all the way through the experience, we're always trying to wow you and do something that you might not be expecting. And this slide really shows you one of those wow moments. Marina Day and caviar in the surf. So on our warm weather destinations, and when weather permits, the captain's going to anchor the ship, and the back of the ship will open up and the marina will fold out, and guests will be able to really enjoy lots of water activities. And usually we find a great little cove to pull into. That's the advantage of a smaller ship. And then we will bring the crew ashore with a beautiful barbecue waiting for you. And then the highlight of the day is caviar in the surf, where we have a special outfitted surfboard, and the champagne and caviar is served in the surf for our guests. So really a fun day. So where do we go? Seabourn travels all over the world. We don't really have one designated home port, although in the summer months, we do typically go either out of Barcelona, Rome, Athens, Copenhagen, Dover, but the itineraries are always evolving. So this gives you an idea of the places in the world that we visit, and a really quick snapshot from a graph point of view of where the ships are remaining for 2022 and into 2023. So right now, we've got the Odyssey in Alaska, and then she's going to head to Australia and New Zealand. The Asia itineraries are currently being tweaked due to the world situation and a lot of ports still not being open. So we are redesigning those, and they will come out sometime in August. And then we're back in Alaska for the summer of 23. The Sojourn, the Quest, the Encore, and the Ovation are all in Europe, some in the Med, one in Northern Europe. They transition the Quest into Canada, New England, which I'll show you in a little bit, and the Ovation in Northern Europe. So again, the ships really travel the globe throughout the year. Now, if you still want to get away this summer or fall, we have good availability still on our ships in the Mediterranean. So we have 4 ships right now. And again, those must-see cities we sail out of are Rome, Barcelona, and Athens. And then we hit some of these little hidden gems that the big ships can't go to, using the marina whenever we can and wherever weather conditions permit. And if you wanted a little bit different experience this summer, we have the Odyssey in Alaska. So very unhurried 7-day itineraries that you can really get a little bit more in depth because of the size of our vessels. And then in September, we'll bring the Quest into the eastern seaboard, and we'll be doing a series of cruises from New York and Boston all the way up into Montreal. So it's a great way to experience something that might be a little bit closer to home. And then for those of you that are in the Northeast or the Midwest, you can escape the cold weather this fall and winter on one of our beautiful Caribbean voyages. We have between 7 to 16 days to choose from on 3 ships. And so with the back-to-back combinability, you can go up to 35 days in the Caribbean. So here's an example of some of the beautiful itineraries that run between Barbados and St. Martin every other week in the opposite direction. So it's really easy to combine a 14-day back-to-back trip in the Caribbean on the Seabourn Ovation. So space still available for that. Australia and New Zealand. Again, our Asia itineraries for first quarter and into second quarter are being revamped, and in their place, we're going to be doing a more in-depth Australia and New Zealand with Fiji and Tahiti. So watch for those. They're going to be coming out shortly. And then I mentioned it before that our Northern European voyages for 2023 are also getting a relook and a refresh because many of them featured ports in Russia that due to the current situation with the Ukraine and sanctions against Russia, we are not going there. So we're going to redesign these itineraries, give you some new beautiful ports, and those will happen mid-May to mid-November 2023, pretty much between Copenhagen and Dover for the Port of London. So a little bit about what's going on right now and how can I book and what can I get. We have the Sail Away event going on right now. When you book a cruise with the CruiseWeb on or before August 31, there's a selection of voyages where you can get a complimentary 2-category veranda upgrade and a reduced deposit. Now, the reduced deposit depends on the itinerary. There are some sailings on the on the Seabourn Venture. We're part of Carnival Corp, so every once in a while that word comes out. But you can also take advantage of this, but the deposit might be a little bit higher on the Expedition Exploration cruises. But check with your CruiseWeb advisor for more information. Now, if any of you have ever cruised with Crystal Cruises, we have a very unique offer. We are certainly saddened by their sudden closing earlier this year, and we wanted to offer their past Crystal Society guests an opportunity to come and try Seabourn. So if you have a Crystal Society number and you happen to know your milestone level, that would be phenomenal. You can see on this chart, depending on what your level is, you can come over to Seabourn for the very first time, and we will match that club level to what Seabourn offers. In addition, we're going to give you 5% off your first booking as if you already were a Seabourn Club member, and really invite you to come and experience everything that we have to offer. So your advisor at CruiseWeb will be happy to give you more information, or there'll be a phone number at the end where you can call and get more information on this really great program. So I want to switch gears for a minute and talk a little bit about Seabourn's expedition journeys, because Seabourn's been doing expedition and exploration cruises for a while on their current fleet. But we wanted to get more immersive with these experiences. So what is really an expedition journey, and how does it really differ from an ocean journey? Well, it's more exotic. It's definitely more exclusive. And we hear the word awe-inspiring and life-changing a lot. Guests want to do something different. Why would a guest want to experience it? They want to go to a region that very few people see, like the Arctic, where polar bears are there in the wild. They tell us they're looking for a life-changing moment. They want something different. They're ready to explore new places. Maybe they want to create new memories and friendships and travel to remote locations. So why are they choosing to go on Seabourn? Well, many of our past guests know the kind of onboard delivery that they're going to be able to experience. So they know we're creating these really curated experiences in the Seabourn style and service that they're accustomed to. And now we're coming out with custom built extra luxury vessels exclusively for these markets. So I wanted to introduce you to the Seabourn Venture, and then later in 2023, the sister ship, the Seabourn Pursuit. 132 all oceanfront suites for 264 guests. There'll be 8 dining options, which is amazing for a small vessel. PC6 strength and hull, that's Polar Class 6. It's really a rating of 1 to 10 that signals or signifies where the ship can go without having ice cutters. So basically, a PC6 vessel can go into the Arctic region and into Antarctica during exactly the times when we're going there and be self-sufficient. But what's really amazing about this ship is 30,000 square feet of outdoor deck space. And you're going to see that as I show you photographs of the interior design. And always, always an eye on environmental compliance, which is one of the major pillars of all the Carnival Corporation companies, is to always be sure that we're sailing safely in all the ports we're visiting and leave it the way we found it. That is so, so important. So to give you an idea of the wonderful accommodations on board, this is a standard veranda suite. Over 325 square feet with the private balcony space. This is a vast majority of the space on board. And then you can go into the more premium oceanfront suites. You see panorama suite on the bottom with the bathroom, and then the deluxe 2-level winter garden suite with the lower level sitting area, dining area, bar setup, and then the bedroom on the upper level. But look at that gorgeous glass looking out to the gorgeous scenery. The owner suite is also separate bedroom area. And again, sitting dining room area. So you've got 2 owner suites on board. And then the public space. So just as if you've sailed with us before, Seabourn Square is the social hub. This is where the guests come for their early morning coffee or their late afternoon champagne or espresso drinks. But if you were to turn to the right on this picture, you're going to walk right outside to this outside space. So the ship is designed to bring the outdoor to the indoor space. Same with the dining venues. The restaurant is lots of glass. The Sky Bar will serve barbecue type choices during the day, weather permitting. And then the Colonnade on the top is a more casual dining venue for breakfast and lunch. And when you're in there, if you look through the picture on the top, you can see the sunset. You walk through the doors into this area. So again, all of the public space spills out onto this 30,000 square feet of total outdoor space to really bring the beautiful scenery right into you. Lots of bars and lounges to choose from. Again, a big plus. Most expedition vessels do not have this kind of choice. The bow lounge that you see on the top sits below the bridge, and those monitors are exactly what our captain and team on board are seeing. So you can be sitting there having a drink and conversation and really seeing what our onboard crew is seeing. The Constellation Lounge will be a great place to come before or after dinner for drinks. And the club on the bottom right, same. So lots of different places for conversation and social experiences. So this is the Expedition Lounge. And this really pays tribute to the early explorers. It's kind of got a ski lodge feel, trapper hut design style. And it's a new space on board. It sits between the main restaurant and the Discovery Center, which I'll show you in a minute. And it's really the embarkation waiting room as you're ready to go down for your expedition shore excursion. There's throw rugs, wooden floor, fireplaces, a heavier kind of lodge furniture. Really fits with the whole places of the ship sailing to. Now there are no shows on board, so don't expect Broadway reviews and flashy costuming. This is for guests that are looking to discover and learn. So the Discovery Center is the main lounge, which features an giant LED screen 30 feet by 10 feet wide. We can seat all 264 guests at the same time, no obstructions. And here you're going to get the recap of the day and what you've seen and experienced, and then a briefing for the next day. We have 26 people on our expedition team, and you'll meet them here. They'll give you lectures, different presentations, and then in the evening, there is a duo or a trio that will play, but there's no shows, there's no big casino. It's really all about educational entertainment. But life on board is also about treating yourself. So this is the spa, where you can come and get a spa treatment or just sit in the sauna and look out at the beautiful scenery. Again, our association with Andrew Weil continues. And the landing zone mud room is really the place where guests are going to gather to be outfitted with their parkas. Guests will be pre-sized before you get on board. So your parkas will be waiting for you here. And then boots. We're going to take your measurements for boots, and you'll borrow the boots while you're on board, but the parkas you will get to take home with you. So that's really exciting. The snorkel gear is available. That's complimentary to use on board. And I mentioned before that our expedition team is world class. We have 26 experts. They've all been in expeditions. Some have worked for tour operators, some may have worked for other cruise lines, but really they're here to be your guides. Another great experience on this venture will be our submarine. So we have 2 6-seater submarines. They have special glass or spheres that when you submerge into the ocean, the glass kind of disappears. So you're not going to know where the glass ends and where the ocean begins, which for a lot of guests is so fascinating. So you can see that we also have hiking and snorkeling and scuba and zodiacs. There's zodiac excursions as well. But the submarine will be for your ultra adventuresome bucket list people who say, I want to do that. So there is an additional charge for that. It is not part of the inclusive features, but it's definitely something I would highly encourage you to look to do, because again, not many people in the world will be able to experience that in certain remote regions. So where do we go? We're going to really travel up to the Arctic. We're going to do some Northeast Passage cruises once we can, because right now they hit part of the Russian territory. So for 2023, we will not be doing the Northeast Passage. but we hope to be doing those in the future. Then we do some seasonal migrations. You see, we are over in the Northwest Passage, which covers the old explorers of the past, and then goes down into Alaska, the Panama Canal, down into South America with the Amazon, and then Antarctica, which is always in the fall, late fall and winter months. So we're really traveling the globe with the venture as we get into 2023. We are, again, tweaking those itineraries, so the new ones should be out in sometime in August. Check with the Cruise Web, and they will be able to tell you exactly. So just like the first video, this one is about 60 seconds. Again, it's got really phenomenal music, which you may or not be able to hear on this recording, but I wanted to show you the graphics to kind of paint the picture. So I hope that gives you a little bit about what you can expect on a Seabourn expedition or exploration cruise. So I want to take a few minutes to see if we had any questions come in, but especially want to thank you for attending today's cruise presentation on Seabourn. We hope that we can welcome you on board a Seabourn voyage in the very near future. So I want to put the number up here for CruiseWeb. If you have any additional questions, you can certainly call them. Their team is very, very well versed about Seabourn and about our experience. So there's the phone number if you don't already have an advisor. But I want to see if we had any questions come in during the session. Let me take a look. Okay, here's one. It said, you mentioned that the submarine was additional and not part of the inclusive features. Can you give us an idea of the cost? Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. It's really going to depend on the voyage, but to give you a range, on the warm weather ports in destinations like the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, and Mexico, kind of those seasonal migrations, the cost is about $499 per person. And then when you get kind of those transitional cruises, Northern Europe, Western Europe, the Med, if we happen to pass through there, it's like $699 to $799 per person. And the total experience is about 45 minutes. You're underwater for about 30 minutes of that time. And then the Arctic and the Antarctica are the higher end. They're between $899 and $999 respectively, but the pricing is always subject to change. And do keep in mind that while we do have the 2 6-seater submarines, and our intention is always to operate them simultaneously, but alternating. So one might be out while the other one's loading, and then vice versa. It is always subject to sea and weather conditions. That can change suddenly, especially in the Arctic and Antarctica. So if, safety is always our #1 concern. So even though you might be signed up for the submarine and it might operate earlier in the day, it may not operate when it's your time. So just kind of keep that in mind. And as far as booking it, we really encourage you that as soon as your booking is deposited, and once we open our website for the Seabourn Venture Shore Excursion to be booked online, go ahead and make your submarine reservations early. Definitely pre-book them because they're going to sell out quickly. And we do encourage a wait list. So if you see it sold out, put yourself on a wait list because guests sometimes change their mind once they get on board. So I hope that answers that question. Here's another one. Oh, how can I get a brochure? Okay, good question. So as of this time, all of our brochures are electronic. They can be found on our website, so www.seabourn.com. Please work with your CruiseWeb advisor. They're going to be able to provide additional details on itineraries that you might be looking for when you wish to travel, and of course availability. But the brochures pretty much across the industry went electronic after the last 2.5 years with all the changes that the cruise lines have had to make. It's just the more efficient way to get the information out to you. And then I think we might have time for one more question. Let me just see. Okay, here's one. Oh, this is a good one. It says, when should I be booking a 2023 trip that I am planning to take? Okay, that's a great question. Well, my suggestion, and I'm sure the advisors at CruiseWeb would tell you the same thing, is book as soon as you are firm on your travel plans. Like, you're going to get the best choice of available suites. And right now, if you book by August 31, you can take advantage of that sail away promotion if it happens to apply on the sailing you're looking for, where it's offering the complimentary two category upgrade within that veranda category. The high suites, the premium suites are excluded. And then you can also take advantage of reduced deposits. So you can be booking a 2023 voyage now and putting down as little as $500 per person, and really lock in to get your best suite, veranda suite accommodation. The other thing I want to mention is, if you're looking to still travel in 2022 or in the first quarter of 2023 on perhaps the South Pacific itinerary, Australia, New Zealand, or the Caribbean, we do have a Book with Confidence program out there. And again, it's for voyages departing on or before March 31 of 2023. And it basically is an assurance that if your booking is canceled no less than 30 days prior to departure, or within 30 days of departure, if you unfortunately would test positive for COVID, you can receive a future cruise credit instead of a cancellation penalty. And that applies if you or someone in your immediate travel party test positive for COVID. So we want you to book with confidence. We know that we're not out of the woods yet because of these variants, but more and more people are traveling, and this just provides this book with confidence. So again, the CruiseWeb advisor can give you a little bit more information on that. And the last thing I want to tell you about is we do have a best fare guarantee. So if you were to see a better public fare offered on the Seabourn website, contact your CruiseWeb advisor. Together, we're going to review your booking versus the current fare you're seeing to see if it would apply. And then compensation may be available on a request basis only. So that's a best fare guarantee to book now. And that being said, you know, our marketing strategy is really to offer the best fare, the best value, the further out you book. And then the fares will increase as you get closer to sailing based on the demand of the voyage. So overall, I can tell you we're seeing very strong demand for 2023 bookings. So we do anticipate that fares will go up and not down as we get closer to the sailings. So I wanted to thank you again for joining on behalf of all of us at Seabourn, and thank you to CruiseWeb for hosting this. And there's the phone number. Please reach out if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you on board a Seabourn cruise soon. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.